This is my new studio, and this right here is the most important piece of furniture in it. It's originally the Alex drawer from IKEA, and it holds practically everything I need for work. The problem is, none of IKEA's organizers seem to fit it perfectly. I have these 30cm rulers that don't even fit into any containers. They're always sliding around whenever I open a drawer, and they're not easy to grab either. If only I could store it this way. I have only just started my 3D printing journey, but what I've come to appreciate the most is the staggering amount of resources available. Like just the other day, I found an organizer generator by Mozilowski on Makerworld, and it's a serious game changer. You can customize everything from the shape of the container to the dimensions, wall thicknesses, and even the corner radius. So I started off pretty simple. I wanted some basic containers to hold my pens, so I simply took some measurements and generated a basic container. I saved the STL file, dropped it into Bamboo Studio, where I made a second copy and arranged them on the print plate with one click. Then all I had to do was hit print. At this point, I realized two things. First, I seriously underestimated how many pens I had, so I ended up using the space on the left as well. Second, there was actually enough vertical space for me to stack more containers. But for the top layer, I wanted something fancier. There was just one problem. I have no idea how to use AutoCAD. What I do have, however, are 2D illustration skills, so I took a shortcut. I drew the side profile of the wave, saved it as an SVG, and imported it into Tinkercad, which is a free web tool that kind of simplifies 3D modeling into a Lego building process. Inside Tinkercad, I just rotated my sketch, stretched it out, and voila, I had a fancy wavy pen holder. I merged it with the original container base, exported the new STL, and sent it straight back to Bamboo Studio to print. While waiting for the print, let me show off some other things I've already printed for my studio. Like this planter that honestly looks delicious to me because it looks like it's made of chocolate breadsticks. I also printed it in blue in case I ever do eat it. This treehouse is an exclusive Makerworld print and has the most adorable little details, like that little lamp inside. This lamp, designed by Cabo Editions, prints in 3 different parts that allows you to effortlessly slide in a light cord. It gives a really nice soft glow, making it a really good ambient and task light. All of these models were found for free on Makerworld. Makerworld is a platform by Bamboo Lab that lets creators from all over the world share their designs with the 3D printing community. You can also access the projects on the Bamboo Handy app, and this turns 3D printing into a truly beginner-friendly experience. You can literally send a file to print with just one tap on your phone. As for the hardware, we use Bamboo Lab's P2S printer, which we have endearingly nicknamed Koala. We chose the P2S printer specifically because it's a highly versatile printer that can print low to high temperatures. All of the models I've shown you are printed in PLA, a beginner-friendly filament that prints in lower temperatures. But we've also been able to print using PETG, a more durable thermoplastic that requires higher temperatures. For the PETG to print smoothly, we ran a drying cycle directly in the AMS and printed this holder for Pat's smartwatch that he can clip the charger into. The quick swap nozzle of the P2S printer has also been extra convenient for switching to the 0.2mm nozzle to print finer details. Combined with the AMS that can automatically switch colors, I printed this colorful mini hammerhead shark. Overall, the P2S printer has definitely been the perfect choice for us, but Bamboo Lab does have a variety of printers that could better suit your needs. The A1 Mini might be your go-to for something more budget-friendly and compact in size, or if you have more professional needs, the H2 series also has laser cutting functionalities. To find out more, you can click on the link in the info box, and a big thank you to Bamboo Lab for sponsoring this video. And guess what? We're right on time to collect the finished print. I laid out some of the other stationery I had and decided to add some divider walls in the generator in order to print a container with 4 equal sections. This will hold post-its, erasers, pencil leads, and some cable fastening strips. For the next box, I added a divider wall at a custom position using the alignment tool in Tinkercad. I use this pair of scissors and cutter very often, so I want to stack them on top in a shadow box. You've probably seen so many of these 3D printed boxes that fit an item perfectly, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make one without any AutoCAD skills. First, take a picture of the item next to a ruler. Be sure to use the zoom on your camera to prevent any warping. Bring this image into a vector program such as Illustrator and scale it to size using the ruler as a guide. Next, you're going to want to outline the item. Use basic shapes whenever you can, like how I'm using this rectangle and rounding the edges to create the handle of the scissors. If the item is symmetrical, you only need to outline one half of it and then simply mirror it. Then, offset by 1 to 2 mm, add a fill and remove the stroke, and save this layer as an SVG file. Import it into Tinkercad and make sure to scale it to the correct size that you had in Illustrator. Adjust it to the depth about 50 to 60% of your item's height and align it to the top of your box before cutting it as a whole. You can use this method to create shadow boxes to fit basically anything perfectly. For the end of my drawer, I just printed more basic organizers to hold my pen refills and some notebooks. And now I have a perfect work drawer where everything has its place and nothing slides around. So, not every drawer needs to have highly customized containers like what we just did. The solution might be as simple as these little clips that I found on Makerworld. To fix the messy gift wrap drawer, I cut some spare cardboard I had lying around and used the clips to create a divider. Within 5 minutes, I had organized the drawer and created space for more storage. Or maybe you would like to go to the other end of the spectrum and create a super modular system. Then there's Gridfinity. Gridfinity involves printing and clipping together a grid, and from there you can easily generate different sized boxes to fit anywhere on the grid, or even find a ton of customized Gridfinity containers on Makerworld. I'm currently trying it out for my camera drawer and printed the boxes with half-page feet, which allows for more flexibility of placement on the grid. Whichever way you choose, the beauty of 3D printing is being able to fully customize solutions tailored for your very needs. I think what's fun about designing your own 3D prints is having the ability to prototype in order to ensure that the final design matches your expectations. For the ruler holder, I first printed a mini version to test the tolerance of both the slots for the rulers and the magnets. For the shadow boxes, I printed cutouts of the objects to ensure that they will be a good fit before committing to a full-size print. Both of these prototypes took just a few minutes to print using barely any filament, costing me just a few cents. Another tip I have is to take time exploring the different generators on MakerLab to find what fits your needs best. The box generator that I ended up choosing lets me control things like the corner radius, wall thickness, and floor depth, which was all factors that were important to me. However, I will say that it's not the best for stackable containers. Since the foot doesn't have a chamfered edge, it requires support to print, which means more waste and effort to remove. I didn't mind it since I didn't have that many stacks anyway, but it's definitely something to note. A huge thank you to my channel members for your support. It means the world to me. If you're in the extra content tier and above, an exclusive studio tour will be dropping within the next week, and the 3D print files for my custom stationery drawer will also be available for you to download and recreate for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.